Hello and welcome to Blue Notes, located on the best city on the Mississippi, the best in the Midwest. We've got that Stanley Cup power, too sweet to be sour. And if you're still clueless, we are talking about St. Louis. This is your home for St. Louis Blues coverage on the Hockey Podcast Network. I am one half of your hosting team, Tom Franklin. Wags will be back on Sunday for some more analysis. We have a lot to talk about since the holidays. Mike Hoffman's signing a PTO. And the news that broke today, which is why I decided to kind of break on and do something a little fun and different here, and that is talk about Vince Dunn and his new contract. This will be just a short little impromptu thing that we're doing here. And while we do that, I'm going to open up some fat packs, some Upper Deck 2020-21 Series 1 Upper Deck hockey cards. I got 5 packs from the Target in Hampton Village. Really good spot, by the way, if you're looking for hockey cards and you need, and Walmart's not, divvying out those cards like they have been because of, pandemic reasons. Target always has a good supply of sports cards. And they every time I've gone into the one in Hampton Village in the St. Louis Hills, they usually have Upper Decks. So I already opened this one in the car on the way back from that Target because I'm impatient. Let's go and take a look at what we got, shall we? So first of all, this is obviously a blank card that they always include in packs. Oops, upside down. So a lot of base cards in this pack here. We have Matthew Perreault. We have Pavel Zacha. This one here is Jason Zucker. Jonathan Bernier of the Detroit Red Wings. William Karlsson. All these base cards here. A couple blues to come later on in this particular pack. Not Vince Dunn, who we will be talking about here in just a little bit. Mike Riley, Mika Zibanejad, Alexander Radulov, Blake Lizotte. We have Dylan Larkin, Samuel Girard, Zach Hyman, John Klingberg, Dmitry Orlov. Now, there are 26 cards in one pack, guys, so this is a lot to get through here. Braden Shen, our first blue, followed by our second blue, Mr. Colton Parayko. I want to take a look at the back real quick. So let's see if we can zoom up on that. Now there's better. Now I have better lighting here at the command center. It reads the back of these cards a little bit better. So there you go. You can kind of see what's going on there as that one just falls. Don't worry, these cards generally aren't worth too much, except for the last one here, which we'll get to. McAvoy, Brendan Saad, now with Colorado. Did they mention his Colorado trade here? No, they do not. And here I am giving my camera credit for focusing better. And it doesn't want to focus, of course, because why would you do that? There you go. I wish these webcams had some sort of autofocus feature on them. And then here was like the one hit from the pack here. Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators. It's an Upper Deck canvas card. These canvas cards are always kind of fun. They have a different texture to them. But there you go. There's the Upper Deck canvas card. So that's pack number 1. So Vince Dunn signs a 1-year deal worth $1.8 million. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that because I was expecting Dunn to cost a fair bit more. But $1.8 million, that's very manageable for the Blues, who are, going to have some LTIR money coming up from Alexander Steen being done for his career, and possibly Tarasenko. But I think they're trying to find a way to not have Tarasenko go on LTIR, because I think the idea is that he comes back at some point this season. Oh, you can see how many cards there are in these packs. These are like $5 packs, and they don't lie perfectly flat, but you can just see there's so many cards in these packs. $5 at your local Target. All right, and these aren't from a box, so I mean we might see a lot of repeats here. So Matthew Perot, Zaka, Zucker, Bernier, Carlson, the Brinket. I swear this is almost like the same order. Here's some different ones. Pasternak, Bo Horvat, that's new. Had him. Here we go. Upper Deck Portraits Rookies. This is a interesting kid from the Montreal Canadiens, Jake Evans. Or as I knew him when he played at Notre Dame, Captain Jake, because he was the captain of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish during his time. Love the 90s styling of these cards here. Toronto kid, again, played for Notre Dame in the NCAA in level, and good defensive forward. I think he's got a future for Montreal. He's the guy that I'm definitely rooting for. Shout out to Mason and Bayou Benders from the Habs Nightly podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Continuing on here, Elias Lindholm, the newly single PK Subban. He broke it off with Lindsey Vonn. So I guess love isn't forever. Dylan Larkin we have here. I think we had him before. Samuel Girard, Zach Hyman, John Klingberg. A lot of repeats. These fat packs I don't think have a lot of variety to them, as I am learning, but this is just pack number 2. McAvoy, we had him. Brendan Saad, we had him. Tomas Tatar, we had. Yeah, we had a lot of these same guys here. So I'm a little concerned about these packs. There's not a lot of variety to them so far. Maybe you're just supposed to get one. Here I am buying 5 like an absolute, impulsive buyer. Vince Dunn. So now that he's in the fold, I'm looking at him for just more this season. I mean, the metrics are there. We had Jay Fresh on our podcast a couple months ago, and he noted that Dunn's quality of competition is absurdly low. The Blues have protected Vince Dunn for years, and I think it's time for him to step up this year without Pietrangelo. How they do that with Krug in the lineup and Perunovich coming up, I don't know. I don't want to see Dunn and Falk together because that's a recipe for defensive disaster, on their own end. I could see Dunn with Parayko, maybe. It depends on where they think Krug plays, because you would think Krug at the money he's making would be the top pairing defenseman with Parayko. But Krug and Falk did have good chemistry when they played together for Team Canada a few years ago. Maybe that's the play. Krug and Falk, and then Dunn and Parayko as your top pairing, and then Scandella goes down with whoever ends up being the 6th, 7th, or 8th defenseman on this team. So we'll see. All right, so got some better variety already here. Just with the first card here, we have John Gibson. By the way, taking a look at the side, doesn't look to be any jersey cards or anything like that. David Perron, Mark Scheifele. Oh, let me move that down there for you. There you go. Mark Scheifele, Evander Kane, Igor Shesterkin, John Moore, Christian Dvorak of the Arizona Coyotes. Really underrated player, Dvorak is. In fact, I'll move these down a little bit so you can see them as I move along here. Kind of an improv setup here. Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Nikita Zaitsev, Toronto Maple Leafs legend. Lars Eller, former St. Louis Blue. Morgan Riley of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Frank Vetrano of the Florida Panthers. We're getting to the point where we start getting our hit of the pack here. They always put the really good rookie cards or special cards in the middle here. So let's see what we got here. Nate Schmidt, no longer of Vegas. He is now with the Vancouver Canucks because they had to trade him to accommodate Alex Pietrangelo. And we got Dazzlers. Johnny Gaudreau, a Dazzlers card. Another very 90s-esque type of a card here. Good player for the Calgary Flames. When Calgary hosted Vancouver in its 2019-20 home opener on October 5th, Gaudreau made sure Flames fans went home happy. He assisted on goals by Elias Lindholm and Sean Monahan, and then fired the puck into an empty net to complete a 3-0 victory. I don't know what's so dazzling about an empty net goal, but Upper Deck, there you go. So Johnny Gaudreau, the Dazzler. Chris Letang, Matthew Tkachuk of the famous Tkachuk family. Nice looking card there. Upper Deck always has good art on their cards. Nick Foligno, Jared Spurgeon, Charlie Coyle, Connor Murphy, Connor Brown. Can we have a Connor McDavid for the hat trick? Yanni Gord, Colin Miller, Jonathan Taves, boo, Artemi Panarin, yay, because he left Chicago, and Justin Abdelkader, who I'm told was a good hockey player at one point in his career. All right, so that's 3 packs down, 5 to go. No real big hits as of yet here in these fat packs that you can get at Target. Mike Hoffman, of course, we haven't had a chance to talk about Mike Hoffman yet. You know, Hoffman's a divisive player in the analytics community. He's a guy that doesn't do much outside of scoring, but I think on a team like the Blues, where you have good role players, especially a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, for instance, I think you can mitigate his deficiencies on a team like the Blues as long as you pair him up with the right guy and let him shine. I think he plays to the left of O'Reilly this year and Perron's in the right wing. I think that's going to have a chance to be a real dynamic line for the St. Louis Blues this year. And, you know, when I was looking at the roster before the Blues signed Hoffman, without Tarasenko, I was really kind of concerned where the goals were going to come from this year. So, you know, there's your answer. Mike Hoffman looking like he'll be signing somewhere in the vicinity of $3.5 to $4.5 million, according to I think Andy Strickland had that. So, or maybe it was Rutherford, one of the two. We'll see. Could have easily been either. All right, back to the packs. Nick Leddy of the New York Islanders, Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets. All of a sudden, Columbus has a really good goalie tandem with Korpisalo and Merzlikins when we thought they were going to be like the NHL's worst. Columbus always surprises. We have Peter Mrazek right here. So I remember to move the cards down a little bit. Brendan Gallagher, good little forward from Montreal. Hampus Lindholm. Jack Eichel, or as some people call him, Mick Eichel, because Buffalo wanted Connor McDavid. They had to settle for Jack Eichel. Not a bad player to settle on to. Eichel's a really good player. Will he be in Buffalo for long? That's kind of the question there. Zach Sanford. So we got a long, narrow Zach Sanford card here. Now he moves down to the third line with Hoffman in town. I wonder if he's going to be trade bait eventually, because he's, you know, I think he kind of established himself last year as a good complementary piece to O'Reilly and Perron, and now this kind of feels like a demotion for him. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, you can kind of see his stats and readout there. Zachary Sanford. The ageless Blake Wheeler. Remember when he was with the Boston Bruins over 10 years ago. Timo Meyer of the San Jose Sharks. The artist formerly known as Mark Stahl, formerly of the Rangers. Now he is the Detroit Red Wings problem. Used to be a good player, and he's just been an overpaid roster bloat for the past couple of years. David Pastrnak, I think this is the third time we've seen him so far. Horvat, at least the second time for him. We've got a Young Guns here. These are the cards that you always seek out if you get Upper Deck cards. A Young Guns Emil Larmy. I'm going to have to ask the guys at Tip of the Iceberg who this guy is, if this guy is going to be anything worth flipping out about. 6 foot, 185 pounds, out of Lahti, Finland. Played for Wilkes-Barre Scranton last season. Played in 9 games. Had a 354 goals against and an 883 save percentage. Not the greatest start for him. He is 24 years old now. So I'll have to look this guy up here. As a Young Guns card, Emil Larmy. Philip Deneau of the Montreal Canadiens. Semyon Varlamov. Rocco Grimaldi, Zach Werenski, Elias Lindholm. I think that's the third time we've had him. Newly single PK Subban, Jordan Binnington. This is a nice card to pull here. I think this is the first time we've seen Jordan in this is pack number 4 that we've opened. Take a look at his little readout in the back there. Yes, his 2018-19 season was indeed magical, and he did not let his game slip in 2019-20. Actually, he kind of did a little bit, but he's still a good goalie. I'm I'm not worried about Jordan Binnington like others seem to be. Brendan Carlo. We have a checklist. David Pasternak and Alex Ovechkin. Interesting choice there. Tanner Pearson, who has revived his career in Vancouver. Zach Parisi, who has not revived his career really since he signed in Minnesota. It's really been all kind of downhill for him there. Evgeny Malkin. And finally, Dougie Hamilton, who's in the Whalers uniform. Of course, he plays for the Canes, and he's already on his third team. And he is 27 years old. Kind of a player that, you look at his stats, and he looks really good, but he always seems to be a guy that leaves you wanting more for some reason. Dougie Hamilton, but he's still a very good defender, probably top 15 in the league or so. Carolina's got a really good defense. So, yeah. How many goals do you think Mike Hoffman gets for the Blues this year? It's 56 games. He had 29 in 70 last season. So I'm thinking maybe 25. I mean, I'm curious how playing next to Ryan O'Reilly, as I suspect he will be, will add to his totals. I'm really curious about that. Leave a comment if you have any opinions on that. Another 26 players here. No jersey cards or anything special like that. We have Brady Shea of the Hurricanes, formerly of the New York Rangers. Oscar Klefbom, who's going to be out for the season for the Edmonton Oilers this year. Ricard Raquel of the Anaheim Ducks. Shea Weber, player who Al McInnes actually told me during the All-Star game that Shea Weber has the best slap shot in the NHL, bar none. And when Al McInnes says you have the best slap shot in the NHL, you have the best slap shot in the NHL. There is no argument. Shea Weber is the best. I will grant him that. Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers. JT Compher of the Colorado Avalanche. Good depth forward for them. Blake Lizotte. I think that's the second time we've had him. Anders Lee of the New York Islanders, formerly of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Good little career there. He's one of their more potent scoring forwards. And, the Islanders don't have a lot of real sexy players, but they play a really good team game in New York. Alexander Venberg, he is still listed with the Blue Jackets. I think he signed with Florida this offseason, kind of a fallen star in the league, if you will. Martin Neckish of the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that's how you say his name. Jeff Petrie, one of the best defensemen you don't know about in the NHL. He's really underrated, I think. He seems to get better with age. He's been in the league for a long time as we, flip this around here. This will be his 11th year in the league, and he just keeps getting better and better and better and better. Age is just a number, folks. Josh Manson, defenseman for the Anaheim Ducks. Carter Hutton of the Buffalo Sabres. Remember, Blues fans, when he was, fans were calling for him to be the starter over Jake Allen. Well, he's kind of fallen under hard times in Buffalo, but then again, Buffalo in general is having some hard times. Colton Parayko, second time we have pulled him in our 5 packs. This is our last pack, by the way. Adrian Kempe, underrated young forward for the Los Angeles Kings. John Marino of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are coming up on our special card here, I think, in just 1 or 2 more. Riley Smith of the Vegas Golden Knights, good forward for them. Mats Zuccarello of the Minnesota Wild. There we go. Are we even getting a special card in this pack? We might be. This pack might be a bust. Darnell Nurse of the Edmonton Oilers. Alex Kerfoot of the Toronto Maple Leafs went there in the Tyson Berry Nazem Kadri deal. Alexander Barkov, one of the best young forwards in the game that you don't know about. Travis Konechny of the Philadelphia Flyers. We don't have any special cards in this pack, and it's kind of disappointing. James Neal. We have Jonathan Drouin. Remember when the Blues nearly got Drouin a few years ago for Kevin Shattenkirk? And Shattenkirk said, "I don't want to play in Tampa." Yeah. And look where and then Shattenkirk ended up playing in Tampa. So go figure. Tony D'Angelo, very interesting Twitter personality. And finally, Callie Yarncroke of the Nashville Predators. So got a lot of cards, 26 cards per pack, 5 packs total, but not a whole lot of hits. So buyer beware. If you go to your local Target and you take a look at your card aisle and you see these quote unquote fat packs here that look like this, I want to say they're fully fugazi, but your odds of landing really good cards are few and far between. If you're trying to build your set for Series 1 2020-21, they're good for that because you get a lot of base cards out of them. But if you're wanting the big fish, these are not the packs to get. So we'll talk more about Vince Dunn and Mike Hoffman and the state of the Blues going into the 2021 season on Sunday. We'll be live at 6:30 p.m. right here where you're watching us here on Facebook or on YouTube. So until then, I want to thank you for watching, because without you, there is no me, there is no Hockey Podcast Network. I'm Tom Franklin, reminding you to not be a chump and always play to the whistle.
A reminder that you can follow Blue Notes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Blue Notes Pod. I'm the voice of the Blues, Tom Calhoun. Jeremy Boyer, play us out.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk covering every team in the NHL. New episodes every Monday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.